Live from El Paso, Texas. From the Piper Academy studio, this is the Morning Market Report with Army Piper, OC Guy, and Tradefly.
Is it a banger?
Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Tradefly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Morning Market Report. Lots of delays this morning, but we are here. We are going to be bringing you guys this news today. The markets are open. First day of the weekly market open is happening today, right now. I'm looking at a daily chart with a lot of green on it, but pulling back on the hourly at the market open. Got some economic data coming in at the top of the hour, and I've got the man, the myth, the legend, Tradefly on here with me today as my co-host. Guys, we're going to be getting that and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report on Piper Academy. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Had hiccups. You got OC down there in Mexico. He's running into all kinds of disasters with his power. And then Tradefly flying faster than his aircraft can fly to get back to the hotels because he's mobile and remote. And then I just had all kinds of things going on today, guys. We're launching a whole nother segment today on the Piper Academy channel. And so we're going to be launching that starting today, FD White and myself. I was trying to get a little teaser done there. Could not get it done in time. But without any further ado, let me bring my co-host up here. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It's the Tradefly. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was trying to build this thumbnail with FD White's beautiful face, but evidently, even at the lowest setting, your guys' skin quality is so good that I can't put him on there without to keep it in the 2 megabyte size. Skin quality is too high for Photoshop. So
that is an issue. We have to deal with it every day. I'm sorry you're bearing that weight. But we will be introducing our skin line here probably in the next few weeks. So, just be ready for that.
I'm going to be watching for it. I heard it will make me look 25 again. That's what I heard. So,
it's called Skin by Piper. It'll be great.
So let's talk about. We had a long weekend. Did you enjoy your weekend first of all? Because I didn't even, I haven't seen you. So, how was your weekend?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? My name's Tradefly. Good to meet you. It was good. It was good. We went out. We did some camping Friday night. Then I had to work actually Saturday evening, but family was down near the beach. They were hanging out there, so I went out kind of during the day, hung out with them, and then came back at night and worked. So yes, Tradefly does not sleep very much, but it was good. It was a good weekend. How about you?
I had a great weekend. I bought a dog. Still waiting on her to be delivered. Still waiting on her. According to X, my poll is complete, and it looks like Piper is the winner. But we all know that no matter how many votes there were for a name on there, Mrs. Piper gets the strongest vote in the industry. So it is what it is. We'll see what the name is going to be. But yeah, she's coming. But I want to get into what's that?
Did you see my comment yesterday?
I did.
I don't check the comments very often. So you were saying on the show, I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. You're like, hey, it was pretty expensive. And I was like, why don't you name her Pricey?
Oh, Pricey. That's a good name. Like, what's her name? Pricey. A lot. It's a lot. So let's get into the charts. I want to actually talk about something that one of the people I've showed you guys before, the Titan of Crypto, had shared. And he's talking about $150,000 Bitcoin this year. So we're going to take a look at that. And then obviously, do I think that is a strong likelihood? My answer is no. I actually think we're going to have downside most of September, but it may not be as far downside as everyone thinks. I actually set up a short yesterday on the pump and we got that little green candle. I set it for 59,985. And it said, nah, fam, you're too high. You need to bring those numbers down. So did not happen. But let's go ahead and jump into what I'm seeing on the charts, and let's get into that. I'm checking the stream here real fast. Yep, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good, gang. All right. So let's get over here and let's take a look at what we're seeing for the week, guys. We've got a market open coming in today that was closed yesterday. So this is our first day of the week technically when it comes to the market open. And right now, fear and greed is sitting at 26 on Bitcoin. We do have a market cap of $2.1 trillion. I've told you Crux's his little level of strength in his hopium, all lies on that market cap right there. So he said, as long as we're above 2 trillion, calm down. That's what he says. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 54.2%. Not much change from yesterday. It's just hovering in that 54% range. Let's jump over, check out the crypto bubbles, what I was talking about here. We do have the daily giving us a lot of green here. Ordi's up 8.3%, BSV up 7.2%. It's a lot of oddball ones because if we go to the market cap on the daily, Ethereum is actually down 1.1%. Bitcoin's only up a little over 0.5%. But you can see here on the hourly, getting a sea of red at the market open, which just happened about 10 minutes ago. I'm watching over here on CNBC right now, and it's saying stocks are lower. The Dow, the S&P riding 3-week win streak, but right now stocks are lower, and it looks like everything's coming down, and the VIX is up 9.13%. So if you guys don't know what the VIX is, it's pretty much the volatility index, and it's when price is going up on that, it typically indicates that markets are dumping. So let's go down here and take a look at what we're seeing here. Bitcoin sitting at 58,622 right now, down 1.1% in the past hour, erasing a big chunk of their daily green. Ethereum down red across the board for the hour, the day, the week, the month. A very sad story going on there, sitting at 24.79. Let's see, Solana is down 2% on the hourly, down still up 1.1% for that daily though, and then it is at $132. Toncoin back in the top 10, holding it there, but guys, you can see it's red across the board too. A lot of red in the markets today, and guys, this month is not going to be good. I just feel that way. We've talked about it a lot, but I want to show you guys some hopium. So don't tune out yet. I promise you, there is some hopium coming because we do have some things that are showing up on the charts, and then there's some data that I want to go over on that calendar that we always talk about. So let's jump over here and check out the liquidations. Let's give this a refresh. I'm curious on the past hour. Yeah, the past hour, $13.6 million in liquidations just in the past hour. A majority of those all longs. You can see here for the past 24 hours, 70 million just changed on us. And those totals coming in for the last 24 hours, 32,177 traders liquidated, coming in at $70.09 million. And the largest single liquidation order was on Bybit Bitcoin. 1.1 million bucks. That's a lot of money for a single trade there. Let's go over and check out what we are seeing here on the economic calendar, guys. S&P global manufacturing data going to be coming in at the top of the hour. It's going to be 7:45. This is supposed to be coming in here shortly, but the one that I'm watching for is the ISM manufacturing. That's coming in at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's going to be 10 a.m. over there on the East Coast, which is about 18 minutes away. So we're going to be looking at that one when it comes in, guys. But the big ones this week, of course, we do have JOLTS job openings. That's coming in tomorrow. We're going to have the ISM services, which is just like manufacturing, but for the service industry. And then Friday, that's going to be the big one. It's going to be the unemployment data. As of right now, 4.3% is what it currently is at. 4.2% is the consensus. 4.3% is the forecast. We all know these are going to be revised anyway, so it don't matter what they say. This is like, you remember that game show, Whose Line Is It Anyways, where everyone's out getting points and none of it matters? That is what these job numbers have been with the federal government lately. So I'm not going to show that one because TradeFly is on today, but this is the one that I'm talking about, guys. I want to talk about this for a second here before we get into the Bitcoin chart. So you guys have seen this over and over and over again. Don't tune off. I'm going to make a comment about it that you probably haven't heard. Somebody's done some analytics on it. You see all this September here? We talk about this about 4.37%, downside in September, majority red, even when you look at election years, blah, 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 right? All of that good stuff. I want to go over here and talk about this in the bookmarks. On X marks the spot today. Let's talk about this data right here from Rect Capital, because he's talking about single-digit Bitcoin downside in September, okay? It happens 54% of the time. So 54% of the time, it's less than 10% down, okay? Single-digit upsides in September tend to happen 27% of the time. So are we looking at a higher likelihood of downside than upside? Yes. However, it's less than 10% typically. Double-digit downsides in September happen 18% of the time, but deep double-digit downside occurs in bear market. So let's jump over here and talk about this real fast, because we talk about this chart all the time. This chart comes up a lot because it's been the narrative that I talked about on August 1st. We set you guys up. If you guys were watching on August 1st, we set you up for August and September was going to be bloody. I was not doing anything for looking for a break of our current range, which we're going to show you in a minute, until October, November. But based on this, single digits, trade fly, single digits or what we see for that downside on non-bear market periods, and that is 54% of the time. So are we all okay with a 9% max downside move on Bitcoin's price for the month? And what does that look like on top of August? How do you feel about that? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all okay if it's only single digits, right? There's a couple critical areas of support underneath of us. One of them we've been talking about with the channel that I've overlaid on one of my charts. So around 56K is a big line in the sand for me, and I think if we stay above that, I think all is well. It's a small pullback, it's a little area of consolidation, and then that also keeps bullish structure for a little bit of upside. So I'm cool with it, and I think we're all cool with it. So let's cross our fingers and hope that's all it is, and it gives us an opportunity to get Bitcoin a little bit lower. Somewhere around 56K would be a nice little spot, I think. But if it does fall down, there's some areas, right? So we have a previous range there's some support there as well. I think that's about the mid 40s, and still maintains that bullish structure. So again, I think it's okay. And I think it's very realistic because we have institutional buying, or at least whales. Somebody's buying right now. I don't know if you've looked at some of the on-chain analysis, but whales are buying large sums of Bitcoin as retail was dumping them. So it's just basically just changing hands. So you guys have to do a little research on that side of the house as well. I don't know how far that they're actually going to bring the price down, because it seems like there's a lot of willing buyers. And you see that too with some of the wicks. Right? When you see these big wicks, like when we came down to about, I think it was like 48K or something like that, you saw a really big wick. And then once it came down to 56K, you saw another good wick. So what does that tell you? There's buying pressure. There's willing buyers in those areas. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And if until we break those areas and actually, retest that as an area of resistance and then see that downside, that trend of, downside movement, then I'm not really nervous about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm watching some things on the charts also that I'm seeing. I'm looking at the Ghazi channel. I'm getting ready to do a bunch of deep dive here into some stuff, because TradeFly may not have been catching up on the morning market report. He's got a busy day and a busy life and a busy job and a whole nightcap show to do. So I'm going to catch him up, and we're just going to touch base on this so that you guys can see exactly where we are. And we're going to look at this big time frame, top down analysis, almost like a drone, and we're going to drill in on where we are right now. And that conversation is going to be followed up with closing out on where we are with Bitcoin by TradeFly. So let's stick around for that. Let's jump over here, guys. Let's take a look and see what I'm seeing here. Let's first talk about the Gaussian channel. Okay, because you can see back here when we get into these periods, and this wouldn't be it, by the way. This is way late in the cycle. This is 2025 if we're basing this on the full year. But you see here how we came in And I promise you, there was a time when we were back here and this Gaussian channel was more sloped up. It was this here that actually created further waves, deviations here in this wave, right? So when we look at where that came down here and wicked down into this, guys, it came into like 98.48, and that upside there was about 10. So about $1,000, which would be about 10% in on 10% of the price amount went into the Gaussian channel, right? $1,000 into it. So let's go up here and just take a look and see what this looks like on our current time frame. This being right after the halving, just like that was back there that I was showing you. We could come into this and wick down into this Gaussian channel as support and get that 10% move, which would put this, let's see here, that would put it somewhere around $49,000. So just looking at that $49,000, that's a relevant number. I've showed you guys on here numerous times, especially this Sunday we were talking about it. If we pulled back on our current candle and we lose our trade range just for a wick, it don't need to be anything major and long term, and we came down to that level, it's $48,600 to $49,000. That's why I keep saying I do think that we could see a $49,000 move. And from where we currently are at $55,000, $56,000, 10% of that would be $5,600. That would be about a 49% on that max side of that max side of that 9% max coming in, coming off of the price action this month. That would be in line with that. So keep that in mind, guys. I am expecting red month, but I do think that we have some solid floor bottoms coming in. And then just jump over here real fast. I want to show you guys where that trade setup was at yesterday. That Blofin did not pick up for me. Because I had it at 59,985 and we had a high of 59,825. So I was about $170 off of getting that pickup there, but I knew that was going to be a short range. It just got front ran a little bit, and it happens sometimes. We don't chase trades. That's not the way to do it. So let's jump over here to
What's your
trade
618
flight.
at?
My 618 on here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My 618 is at 56,168.
Amazing. Almost like
What's
we just
really
said that
amazing,
number.
if you're going to talk about it, let me let everybody know where
Oh,
these fibs are coming
duh.
from.
Oh, wise one.
Yeah, I gotta let them know these fibs were not pulled like a fib retracement, guys. These are not a fib retracement. These are a trend-based fib extension, and I pulled them from the low of 2018 to the high of 2021 to the low of 2022, and that is what gave me all of these fib lines based on that trend-based fib extension going back to 2018 to 2022. And I want to show you guys where our all-time high hit. Right there, top of the platinum pocket. That is prime rejection point. Guys, this is the TA I follow. I don't look at, the 4-hour chart and come on here every day and give you guys this, hey, here's your 4-hour chart. Tomorrow, my scenario is going to change. We might have a close-in look on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, and we'll give you guys that daily update. But I've been looking at this stuff, these charts, the same exact charts, same stuff on my charts for about 2 years now, almost. So the data, when we got to the platinum pocket, that was a big conversation that I was having with Crux. I was like, guys, we're at the top of this platinum pocket. We're at a critical point, and I'll be darned if it didn't, darn for you children out there, because I know we got some kids that watch here. I'll be darned if we didn't get that rejection right on the 887, and that level was called out back in November 2022. So almost 2 years, about a year and a half, I guess, by March when we hit that. So there you go. That's the charts that we're working with over here at Piper Academy. We're not gonna come on today and draw a trend line, then tomorrow change that trend line. That's the only chart we're showing you. We're doing long-term analysis over here because we're long-term investors, and if that's what you're into, then welcome to the Academy, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Tradefly, I see we got some people in the chat. Who we got in here, bro?
Yeah, we got all kinds of people in the chat. Usernames just giving me that business the whole time. But let's go ahead and go through the chat real quick here. We got Ninja Glock. What's up, man? Alexander G's in the house. Best mod in the house. BC Port Corp, how you doing? Good. I watched your show yesterday, man. Y'all keep grinding. I'm excited for you guys. Eric, Bowlin, Wallin, how you doing? Bucks in the house. Wick 589. You took out the rest of it, man. Now I can't rhyme. All right. French Toaster, hola, my friend. Baby Yaz. Let's see. Kyle Fields with a yo. What's up, man? How you doing? Crux of Crypto's in the house. Username, man. He's talking that smack. I'm gonna figure you out, man. It's only a matter of time. Mike plays in the house. Harp's in here. CJ Taylor, how you doing? And let's see. Trade Intuition. Joe's in the chat. Go ahead and check him out. John Foster Crypto's in here. And Ada Ace, how you doing? Hit the like button. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Please hit the like button. That would help us very much. And who else we got here? Crypto AI. And scrolling down. I think that might be Coach Katz. How you doing? He said GM Army Piper. What's up, dude? Let's see. Going down. Bucks in the house. And Wick's wife, Fine 89. Her name still rhymes. I dig it. And Dave Digital's in here. What's up, dude? How you doing? And I think Randy Bites, Abit. Let me know how to pronounce that. And that is it.
If I'm
That is
not
it. What's up,
mistaken,
everyone?
if I'm not mistaken, let me know if I'm wrong in the chat, Randy. But aren't you Randy Hipper's relative? I'm just checking. I think that might be Randy Hipper's
No,
dad.
it's just Randy. I'm
Is
pretty
it?
sure.
He's always over there. I'm not sure. I'm not
Nah,
sure.
that's
He's always
I'm looking at
in her
I'm
chat
looking at the
though.
profile
So
picture right now. I actually met Randy in real life down in
okay.
Nashville. Different people.
I know he's a big Randy Hipper fan. So there you go. Athos is in the house too. But I appreciate all of you guys being. Look, I got some new stuff. I finally found this. Investing Bros use this this like button. Yeah, I found it.
Oh,
It's a gift.
I'm not going to do
It's a
that
gift.
anymore.
It's
That
beautiful.
was
And
terrible.
then we got this now. We got an updated Alexander G. Hart in house. So there you go. Let's get into. He said no. Okay. Yeah, I just know that he's always over there with Randy Hipper, but we're always glad to have Randy in the house. He's very active in the community and talking and replying back on social media. He's here, he's there, he's every effing where. He's like the Roy Kent of crypto space. So let's get into your charts on Bitcoin, Trayfly. See what you're looking at. And yeah, he said that was the longest one yet. We're gonna have to quit doing them all. We're just gonna have to go down. And if they have a membership, or if their name rhymes with Rick, then we because you can't leave the Wicks out of that. So let's jump over to your chart to see what you got, bro.
All right, I got the liquidation heat map up first. We'll take a look at that. Hottest spot is around 56K, 57,050. You got some liquidity sitting there. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's still a little ways out, but you know, we had a nice little pullback here, so that would kind of start the trend for a downright. Remember, we kind of look for a trend in conjunction with where that liquidity is sitting to give us an idea if we think we're going to go get that liquidity or not. But it is very much in play, just coming down and kind of looking at it. So let's see here, 57K. Let's look at that on the chart. Let's see where that's at and see how much sense that makes. So coming down here to one of the big support levels, that's at about 57.6. If you go a little bit further down, 57.2 is definitely an area we're finding support. So I mean, it would actually have to come down a little bit further. I mean, I think it's in play, but you do have some support there that might save the day. So when I'm talking about 56K, kind of rehashing a little bit here from last week, but we do have a descending broadening wedge. So you can see support and resistance here on the top side, support here on the bottom side. Kind of looks like a megaphone opening up. This is actually a bullish pattern, believe it or not. So when you zoom out a little bit and you look at the price action, how we came into this descending broadening wedge, that's one thing you have to take into consideration when you're trying to figure out which way this might go. Well, it almost looks like it's forming a really big bull flag on the daily, right? So take that into account. You do still have this trend line that's been acting as resistance, and you have a little bit of confluence here with a horizontal level of resistance as well as the dynamic reactor. It's all lining up in one area. Value area low is pretty close too, right? So that's all within about $1,000 So you got a significant area of resistance to get through before we can get confident that we're going to see that movement up and right, or the continuation of movement up and right. So, we talked about that a little bit. You do want to see kind of something like that. So you see the little OC retest with continuation up and right. So I would be very, very careful here in this area. Like I said, I said this last week, this is an opportunity maybe you could play the range here if you wanted to, but it's aggressive and it's risky, right? But we have been bouncing around in this area for days at this point. It's really, what do we think we're going to do from here? Well, what I'm seeing is multiple retests of this area support, but now what are we starting to do? We're starting to really start to move the RSI, or the prime oscillator on the daily, at least up and right. You can see here too, the indicator is starting to flash that there's a potential here that we could see a little bit of a reversal or a movement to the upside. It's all potential, but there's obviously external factors here at play, and we probably have to look at some of the macroeconomics to see why we're having this pullback this morning. But when I say 56K, so we zoom out, let's go to the weekly here. This is the channel that I'm talking about. This channel has been in play for quite some time. And as you can see, when we set an all-time high, we came down, support. Set an all-time high, came down, support. Set an all-time high, came down, support. It didn't close underneath of it, right? It only wicked underneath of it. So it's still alive. It's still in play until we break this. So that's what I'm talking about. If we get a little pullback and we find support here, no big deal for the month of September. If we get underneath of this and we start finding resistance, that's when I'm saying, okay, well, might have a bigger, pullback, and that would still fall within the descending Browning wedge. And there's a potential, depending on how long it gets drawn out, that you start coming down and retesting this 2022 high, 2023 high could all be in play. So keep your eye on that. I think this trend line is really, really important. I would highly advise go ahead and put that on your chart. Not financial advice, right? But I would say a good SA builder / tool. And if you get under it and you're finding resistance, then you could look for some potential downside here. So that's kind of my line in the sand. It's one of the things I like to do. I did draw a line in the sand right here, as well. I said, hey, if we break this, it could be game on. And it popped. And that was all based on just going back left on the chart and seeing where we had support and resistance based on this trend line. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. If you want the key areas in terms of price, ignore that line. I'm just doing all kinds of janky things. So 56K, it's starting to come up a little bit as the trend line works its way up, but 56.4 or so is should be a nice area of support. You should find some price action off of that if it does come back down. You do have a horizontal level of support at about 56 or 57.6, so it's all kind of starting to consolidate here, right? You're converging into one area. The more this draws out, the more you'll have some confluence here between these two lines. So keep an eye on that. But overall, dynamic reactor still red, trending to the downside. But the prime oscillator is telling you something a little bit different in my mind personally. And then the only, I think we're going to find some support here unless there's some kind of macroeconomic or, something larger that's going to affect the price action. I think right now there's institutional buying going on. So I think they're kind of accumulating right now in this area. And so I'm optimistic that at least this trend line should hold up. That's just me. So that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, something that I want to point out. I got a thing pulled up here because I saw you talking about these levels of support in the chat there, or in the on your stream. So also there was two. Just so you guys know, I want to pull this back over here. Someone said something about there being two of you. Guys, this is called a sortie. There you go. So when you have two trade flies on the screen, that's a sortie. So jumping over to my chart, I want to show you guys this. Bitcoin markup is inevitable, okay? The fear, disbelief, anger at peak levels in the crypto space. This is from Titan of Crypto. It's one of those things that I wanted to show you. It said soon Bitcoin will be trading higher. Let's talk about this since we talked about all this bad stuff, right? Before we get into the news and then look at this top of the hour economic data that just came in. You guys can see here fear and disbelief. And let me ask you, if you guys are feeling fear and disbelief that this bull run is still going to happen, if you got just little seeds of doubt in you, drop a one in the chat, because I'm sure a lot of us do. We all feel it. We're human, right? We're not seeing video that matches the audio, as we always say, which mine is today. Thank goodness. But we're seeing that, and this is what that is. That's fear and disbelief, right? And then right at the end, there's this little manipulation bubble. And that is where these institutions do a big sell-offs. We just had like the second day of sell-off for the ETFs, outflows, I should say, just last week, right? So there is a sell-off coming in, but they're scooping it back up the next day. They're coming right back in and grabbing it up. And when you've got a lot of institutional money that is moving markets, retail is just getting knocked back and forth there. So if retail's trying to buy that dip, and then it dumps on them, and then they're like, oh no, they get scared because of this fear and disbelief, right? And then this all happens right before we take off. And I do want to show you this. This is the other chart that I was talking about on the thumbnail. $110,000 Bitcoin on the way. This is according to Titan of Crypto also. And he's got this massive cup and handle. I know a lot of people have talked about this, but he actually took some they're called candle patterns. You can do it on your chart. We'll show you guys that sometime. But he just dropped it on here, did the measurement for the breakout there just to see what it would look like. Guys, it's coming in at like $110,000. So is it a very, very big, these are weekly candles. Is it a very big cup and handle? Absolutely. I would say that a lot of times you can find a massive cup and handle in the market on market swings where, you got a recession and it pulls down and it comes back up. Very similar to what we see on Bitcoin. Anybody else put a no, Retro Mike, I don't know why you hate on Caspa. It's one of the most, we're going to look at Caspa today. It's one of the most bullish looking charts on the market, in my opinion, still. And nothing really looks quite like it. It's a very strong chart, and it's not even listed on any major exchanges yet. So I know Retro Mike's got a history of mining this stuff, and he's like, it's one of my biggest underperformers. For mining, yes, I would not want to be in mining on Caspa after next year. I think this is the only bull run that it stays profitable because of their rapid halving, but there's still money to be made in it. So much love. But yeah, guys, let's look at $110,000 Bitcoin. Now, do I think it's going to happen? It's unlikely. But are we looking at this small downside month for September for Bitcoin and crypto in general, and then we get into an October, November? Historically, yes, that's what we do. And that's how that runs on that market. So TradeFly, thoughts on $110,000 Bitcoin this year? Like, it overshoots even your top 2025 prediction that you did. Is it possible? Does this cup and handle play out, or is this just is this a huge shot of hopium in the arm of the Bears?
I mean, I think it's a huge shot. And I mean, but there's also, if you were to take the measured move off of the bull flag, if it is one on the weekly, that would also put you on over 100,000. But I think there's going to be a sell-off at 100K just based off of a psychological number, right? It's always waves. You got ups and downs. I think as soon as retail floods back in, they're going to dump it on their face. As soon as you get to 100K, it's like, oh, it's just like that. The last bull run we had that ended in the 2021 high. They just dumped it, right? So yep. I think it's going to be something similar. I think you'll have a pullback. You go look at the channel and be like, okay, well, we've hit the top part of the channel. That's where I based my high off of, was that channel. It's that simple. I took a line, I went from high to high, and it still hasn't actually hit the top side of that channel yet. So I think that's still in play, but I do think that there's going to be a massive pullback at around 100K, and then we'll find support, and then we'll retry. But I just don't think that's all going to play out within the next year.
Right. No, that makes total sense. Retro Mike Tech, by the way, shout out to him in the chat right now. We go back and forth about Caspa, but I love the dude. He's awesome, and he's going to be a guest tonight on the Crypto Nightcap. Is that correct?
That is correct, man. I'm pretty excited about that. He doesn't do very many guest appearances, he says. So I feel honored and privileged to have him on. So it should be good.
And he hasn't even done one with me.
He said mining for Cass is dead. That hurts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, he said mining for Cass is dead now. Anybody that bought miners 4 months ago had to turn off last week. His is at a loss, or mine at a loss. Or mine at a loss. So Cass was becoming extremely centralized. So
I need the price to go up so that I'm no longer mining at a loss. So let's go, Cass. Get it together.
No kidding.
Get it together.
No kidding. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to have him on tonight. I want to point out that he's coming on your show before my show, and I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Consider where you and I started at. Considering where you and I started at, look how well you are doing in space. Shout out to you, TradeFly. Shout out to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Got it. Hey,
Much
check this out.
appreciated.
I saw some funny stuff on X. I had to share it also here. He's probably thinking about other girls. I just need to retire my entire bloodline this bull run. I thought that was great. And then stuff I learned from college, the stuff I've learned from studying Bitcoin. Actually, it should be stuff I learned from psychiatrist, the stuff I've learned from Bitcoin. Because I will tell you that Bitcoin has taught me much more in the way of patience and emotional control than my counselors ever did. So, yeah, it's a sad truth. Let's look at this data here on the economic data that just came in, guys. And then I got one article to show you, and then we're going to get into some altcoins. So, guys, let me know in the chat what alts you would like to see. We just had the market open, so I'm sure Clean Spark is going to be in there. What I can do a quick look at the miners and stuff like that. But I want to get into this data here on the economic calendar. So this data here on the the ISM manufacturing PMI was actually expected to be 47.5, forecast to be 47.5, came in at 47.2. So let's go see what this is telling us here. It edged higher at 47.2 in August from 2024 from November of 2023, low of 46.8, missing market expectations of 47.5 and reflecting the 21st monthly contraction in U.S. factory activity. So out of the past 22 months, 21 of them have contracted. They are making less. This is actually a good thing. And here's why. Because the ISM manufacturing slowing down means that demand is lessening. And yes, that is an economic weakening indicator, but it is also an inflation. It helps with the inflation, bringing it down. So if there's less demand, obviously there's going to be less buying, and that means that prices can level out and inflation can come down. The result extended the weak momentum for manufacturing in the U.S. economy, underscoring the impact of elevated interest rates by the Federal Reserve in the sector. So that's what we're seeing there, is that when this gets cut coming up on the FOMC, this could level this out a little bit. So let's jump over here and see what else we got. Anything of relevance, ISM manufacturing employment. Let's check this out. I want to see these job numbers. Go back here first. Was expected to be 43.4, came in at 43.6, according to this, but we all know how these job numbers get revised, so let's just roll with it. They're telling the truth, wink, wink. ISM manufacturing employment in the United States increased to 46 points in August from 43.4 points in July of 2024. ISM manufacturing employment in the United States averaged 50.15 from 1950 until 2024. We are substantially below that average, reaching an all-time high of 73.7 points in February 1951 and a record low of 27.8. So we're well above that 1982 crash there, not anywhere near what we were in the industrial boom post-World War II of 1951. No, I was not alive then. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out now before someone makes that comment. Let's jump over. That's what we got for that. And then I want to talk about this article, guys. I'm going to try to bring you guys some of these articles every morning, and I apologize for the white screen. I can't do anything about that. I know it's bright. This is CNBC Pro, and these articles are only for Pro users, so you don't have, they're behind a paywall. So I'm going to try to bring you guys some of this because some of it is some really good data. The first one that I want to bring up here is we're in the middle of a stomach churning period for the market. Market volatility is unlikely to let up anytime soon. Data compiled by this research industry shows that the S&P has averaged a 1.3% loss going back to 1929 in September. October is also highly volatile. The standard deviation for the S&P during that period comes in at about 6%. So this is a tough backdrop, even as the bulls on Wall Street, they're hesitating. So that's where a lot of money's sitting right now. It's just sitting on their money. They're not really getting in until we get through these volatile periods. I think investors should be cautious for the next 8 weeks, according to Fundstrat head of research, Tom Lee. He said markets have been up 7 of the 8 months this year, so we know it's an incredibly strong market, but we also have September interest rate cuts, and we have the election, things that will get people nervous. So just keep that in mind going into September and October. And then also Tom Lee says He said, who's been correctly bullish, by the way, turns cautious and sees that we could have a 7 to 10% pullback on the stock market. Let's jump over here to Duocam before we get into the altcoins and the other stuff. If the S&P sees a 7 to 10% retracement in September, TradeFly, what do we see crypto doing in that period?
That's gonna be tough, man. I know like last bear market, you saw a real close correlation between the Nasdaq and Bitcoin. So go back, look at the charts as Nasdaq was pulling back, so was Bitcoin. It was eerily similar. It was almost mirroring each other as it was pulling back, bounces and everything. So
But
I
I think
had
it was more
actually
though. Wasn't it like 1% for the Nasdaq equal like 2.1% or something like that on Bitcoin, if I remember right?
I don't know the actual breakout in terms of like the ratio, but I had both charts up at the same time, and that's what I was trading with. And I was actually watching the NASDAQ seem to be driving Bitcoin for a little bit in terms of like what was moving first. So that's why I was using it, because I was like, oh, there goes the NASDAQ. And sure enough, I was like, oh, there goes Bitcoin. So it was, just a little way to try to get ahead of it. And that's what I was using. And then, of course, I would use altcoins because they were getting crushed. And then I would just short those. And it was a good little system I had set up for a little while. And then it diverged. I think once we got around like bear market lows, and I want to say it was about January of 2023 is really where I saw that divergence for Bitcoin and the Nasdaq. So yeah, man, in terms of like how much we're gonna pull back, I guess, man, that would make sense, like a 2 to 1. But I would watch the Nasdaq more than I'd watch the S&P, just based on what happened last cycle.
Fintech, tech, it makes sense. BC
Yeah.
Port Corp said he projected that would be about a 15 to 20% pullback on crypto. So on Bitcoin, I'm taking it. He means Bitcoin. A 15 to 20% on Bitcoin. We know what that means for the alt market. Everything is on a fire sale, blood in the streets. So
some of them are already close to bear market lows. Like
yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm gonna measure that 15 to 20% pullback. That puts you about the 2022 high at about 48K.
And hey,
I mean,
that's exactly where I've been calling for us to head to. So there you go. 48 to 49K is exactly what I'm calling for.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into some altcoins. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys off of the pro stuff. There's some really good data in there. I'm going to try to bring you guys that every single day here on the show because knowledge is profit, and I don't want you guys to have to pay for CNBC Pro. So if I see good stuff on there, I'm going to be bringing it to you guys. And then also, I do want to do a quick promo before we get into the altcoins. We got about 14 minutes left before we go raid the frat house with Randy Hipper. But today, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, FD White and I will be live for our first Tuesday, Thursday trade sessions. We're going to start it out with 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but it's called Trade Academy. And we're going to be in here showing you guys strategies, how we look at these markets when we go into trades, how we set up our trade, how we gauge our stop loss. That is going to be an educational class for trading, and that is going to be right here, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. If you guys are not in our Discord also, I'm going to go ahead and drop these in the chat right now. There's our Discord link right there. Oh, nope, that's Chart Prime. Well, that one's also there. That Chart Prime. Here's our Discord link that you can get into our Discord, and there's some great free stuff in there. There's other perks for paid members. You can do that by clicking join down below. But most importantly, if you have our Blofin link, and you got to use our link, you can't just have a Blofin account, guys. We have to be able to track the UID from signing up with our link. But if you use our link, we're FD White, myself, Lunar Beaches Crypto, Trade Intuition, all dropping some trade setups in there for you guys. We're going to not just have a few trade setups here and there throughout the week, but we're also going to teach you how to trade, because I don't believe in going, here's your trade setup, go have a great day. I believe in teaching you how to trade, because God forbid something happened and this entire show collapsed. YouTube comes along, takes our channel away from us, or something happened and we just cannot continue to do the show. Your financial success should not be dependent upon someone handing you your trades. You should also know how to do it too. So we're going to teach you how to fish, not just give you a fish. We're going to give you some fish too. but we're going to teach you how to fish so you can feed yourself for life. Okay. That's what we're going to do here. So join us today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. TradeFly, you got any altcoins that you want to take a look at? You got that Soul Train loaded up, or what we got going on here?
I got a coin loaded up, but I want to give a small shout out to FD. My man is grinding. He's going to be on a show with you. He's actually on a show right now.
Right
He's
now.
on Trading Wars. So that's the final. I think there's like, it's kind of a little janky the way they're doing it this year or this season, I guess. There's like 5 or 6 of them in the final. I think he just wanted to wrap it up. But FD's in the final. So we are cheering for that man because Piper Academy was holding it down last season. So if we can hold it down.
A sound effect
again,
for that? Can we get his theme song?
Oh. I got you. But yeah, so I mean, we've been holding it down. And it just shows you, like, you know, in terms of looking at some of the other content creators, like I think we're doing it good. I don't want to like sound too like egotistical or biased, but I mean, you have people that understand trading and they have a vested interest in actually teaching you guys, you know, how we're doing things, and we're not hiding it behind a paywall either. So, well, I guess maybe a little bit for some of the trade setups, but
it's what? And you gotta like watch all the shows. Because we got Good Morning Crypto that goes on before we even go. And like BC Portcarp just said, he said, we called the dump this morning, he did, on Good Morning Crypto. Go check out the shows in the AM. So we've got the morning show, guys, that sets you up for what the market's looking like when it opens. You've got the morning market report, which is the one you're watching now, when the market goes live. And then we're going to have afternoon trade show that's going on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is me and FD White. And then in the evenings, you get the crypto nightcap. So with TradeFly and FD White. So
like, we are really giving you some really nice levels.
We're trying.
We're trying. Yeah, we are. I think it's better than a lot of channels that are out there in terms of what we give. But that being said, what else was I gonna say, man? I got totally distracted. Buck's over here saying let the Marine out. So I'm trying to be nice, Buck. I'm trying. All right, don't pull that out of me. Don't do that.
He's the newest. He just recently joined up a chart primer using my link. He's the newest chart primer.
I remember what else, man. There's going to be giveaways also for Blofin.
Yes.
So if you guys are part of that, if we have your UID number, that will make you eligible for giveaway. So understand that yes, there's like fees that are charged, right? But those will get split with us from the exchange, and we're going to give it back. You know, so just understand that have the opportunity to get
normal trading fees. I want to clarify. It's the normal fees you get when trading. There's no fee for
there's no excess, right? But they do give us a little piece of the pie. And so for us, we're going to give some of that piece of the pie back to you. So
that's the same with all content creators, by the way, guys. Every one of them that has a link, that they're making a little, they're shaving back some fees on it. That's why they have a link. But
it's not a lot.
Yeah.
I promise you. We've had that thing for
it's
3
not
months.
Much. No, it's not much at all. But we're using that for giveaways, so you guys know. Let's get into the Soul Train, bro. Let's do that.
All right,
let's load up the Soul Train.
Let me one quick hitter on Coinbase. I have that up on the daily, and the reason I'm giving you a quick hitter on that is because you got an uptrend here on the oscillator. It's pulling back kind of hard. Be careful, but if it does get the bounce here, you're at the golden pocket, right? So you're at the golden pocket. There could be some price action if you see a green candle come off of this, and then you start to see the RSI or the prime oscillator start to bend up and right. That might be a good sign. Okay, so keep an eye on that. I just want to point this area out to you. Could be an opportunity. All right, let's go to Soul. Soul Train, baby. Get it going. There it is. All right, so we had a key area that we were looking at here that was at 128. We got a little bit of a bounce off of that area, a little bit of price action. The reason I think it's significant, just come back left on the chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, there's a bunch of hits of support here, right? It's been holding up, and we've really developed a range. Okay, so we're at the bottom side of the range now. What are we looking for? We're hoping here, like this is the second hit. You have 1, now 2. Now look at this. You're saying, all right, there's a reversal, and then it looks like it wants to bend up. So there's an opportunity here, kind of the same thing as coin, right? There's an opportunity that you could get a bounce and maybe some movement up and right. So let's kind of see it out a little bit. I wouldn't probably try to go long just with this candle coming down so sharply and everything pulling back. Just wait to see if, Bitcoin gets a bounce, or actually, let's just go off of Bitcoin as well. I always look at Bitcoin before I'm like, hey, let's see where we're at. So that's at support as well. So this is what we're looking for. I mean, we're at a nice area right now for, I would probably say, quite a few coins as well as Bitcoin, that there's an opportunity for a bounce for support. So keep an eye on that, time now, really. So let's go back to Sol here. So 128, nice little area. If it does pull down, if you start looking at the wicks, now you're looking at kind of that next level down at about 121.74, 122. And then you got to go back to the next range. Now you're talking about value area high, point of control, value area low of that previous range. But I mean, until we break this range, there's not a whole lot of concern. And we've been pogoing back and forth hard in this range, right? Like support all the way up here, and then we came all the way down, and then we got a bounce, and then right here you can see this horizontal level of resistance. So this, you got the point of control. All right, you got to break through that. You have the dynamic reactor, that's a resistance. So I would not be surprised to see some price action in this range and see some sort of resistance here. Obviously, at the point of control with the dynamic reactor, that's going to be hard, but there's an opportunity here, is what I'm saying. That you can see some price action that goes up, and then you get out, right before there, and then you might see some resistance where price action comes back down before ultimately seeing a second or third retest before you can break through this area before you look at 162. So keep your eye on it. That's what I'll say right now. But that opportunity is there. I don't, Piper, is there anything that like really should be dragging the market down? Like the economic data wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it's just it's election fears, and the the fear of recession. Right? It's money. It's risk off environment. That's why.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you want to know? You want to know why it's going down? Because on August 1st, I told you it was going to do this for 2 months. That's why. Like this is a norm, and as long as we maintain consolidation levels, then fine. But I am more bearish than bullish until that narrative changes, and that's what's been going on. So I don't. I hate beating the drum, but guys, we warned you on August 1st. And I do a lot of analytical, research before I put something like that out. I don't just react to one piece of data. That's called single source intel. I was a multi-source analyst, so I'm looking at multiple sources. If you guys don't know, if you're new, I was an analyst in the military for 22 years. This is what I do. I take historical trend data, I look at current data, and then I predict. And that's where that call came from. It wasn't just based on, a single piece of information. This is what we can expect. And I did tell you also, any rallies we got in August, September, suckers rallies. Be careful, don't get trapped. And that's what we've seen over and over and over again. So there you go. That's
I'm
what
trying to
it
go
is.
back and look at every time we kind of got like this double bottom on Sol, and it does look like you're getting a little bit of divergence. Like you are getting some flashes on the indicator here, and it looks a little stronger, right? So if you look at this to this, the bottom part of the oscillator here, it looks pretty strong. You look at this one from here to here, that looks pretty strong. From here to here, looks maybe just a little bit weaker, I would say, but not too much. And it's actually showing you a reversal. So I'm kind of conflicted, but I just, until we break this range, like I think it's an opportunity for me personally. So 128, that's what I'm looking at.
Yep, absolutely. And Wick said that's a nice background. Compliments your time spent as a Chippendale. So I love it. I love this group, man. I love the alumni.
You know what I mean?
Let me jump over to Ethereum, and then we had a request for Reddit. I'll take a look at that, and we'll see what's going on with Reddit today on the stock side, and then I'm going to take a quick look. Guys, I'll let you know now. The entire market's going red right now, and it is what it is. So let me jump over here and let's talk about Ethereum.
When it's at support, man. That's why I have this like conflict right now internally, because market's pulling back, but we're sitting at support. That's not a recipe for
but
something
unless it's a support level that was on like the weekly chart, I wouldn't even put a lot of weight into it. I would look at everything being time frame based weighted. So if it's a 4 hour, very easily could get broke through 12-hour, a little bit stronger, right? I wouldn't look at any support right now to hold unless it was on a weekly chart or higher.
Oh, this is 100% on the weekly for Sol.
Well, then that might hold
Yeah.
there, but don't be surprised if it wicks down through and then closes. Because remember, this is something that
if you're
people
looking
got
at
to
the
remember. If you're on a weekly
Yeah.
chart and it breaks a weekly support, that doesn't matter. It is that weekly candle wicking back and closing inside of it that matters the most. So if you're trading on
Yeah.
those higher time frames, you got to keep that in mind. So let me jump over and talk about Ethereum here. I want to show you guys this. I'm looking at this, and yes, I'm going to get ready to shield the Piper Sniper kit, guys. But these fibs here, these were auto printed. They auto pulled and printed on here for me. I didn't have to make them at all. I didn't do anything. They just auto printed. It's all part of the Piper Sniper kit. If we take a look at what happened here, we came up and got this resistance on the golden pocket. That is where it pulled down to. We are now inside of the platinum pocket. Let's bring this into play, and you can see what's going on here on the platinum pocket. We had previous support on it, and now it is the resistance that it is breaking off of. These are auto printed, don't have to do anything. Just get it and forget it. That's it. Just put it on there and use it. We are pulling off of that. Also on this, we are pushing down on the 4-hour beneath the quantum and the dynamic reactor. We're actually rejecting off the quantum reactor. But the thing I want to point out is this right here. This is called the spotter, and I have it on the 4-hour right now for target hold, target lock, guys. It's monitoring all this stuff to tell me when we get doubles on the daily, because on the 4-hour right now, Ethereum has given us a double confirmation for target hold and target lock. What is that? Well, that's this signal here and the red of the quantum reactor. If we actually go back and look at this, at where this actually fired off, we do this double confirmation. It would have been here, okay? This is why it matters. You see this pump right here? It never turned green. It did over here, but it did not do that until after the dump, which means that this is completely negated. The green here is completely negated. So we would have been in this from this point here for this entire downward move off of the 4-hour based on this giving you target hold, target lock. That means it's time to short when you get both of them. Guys, the only thing that's green on both of these on the 4-hour is NVIDIA. It's the only thing out of my entire 10 item list, which is Bitcoin, ETH, Link, Solana, Toncoin, Caspa, NVIDIA, CleanSpark, MicroStrategies, and Amazon. The markets are red, and it is not looking strong right now. Ethereum, I do believe that Ethereum could be heading down to the next level today of around 2350. When I look at the oscillator on here, look at the Oscillator Pro Plus, I can see that we just printed a pink ribbon. That has given us downtrend. The True 7 has gone from green to pink, and it is coming down. Let me bring that into focus a little bit so you can see it. That is this line that is coming in right here. It comes up, and now it's coming down. That is the True 7. It's reading 7 different algorithmic oscillators, RSI, all kinds of stuff. It's on its way down. Money flow is in the red. You can see this pink here. This is the money flow. It's in the red, and it looks like it's starting to come down also. The only thing that I see that is giving me a little bit of hopium that is, and that 23 will hold, or that 2250 to 23, is the volume matrix, which is pulling a bunch of different data for volume, is turning green back to the upside. However, keep in mind, this thing can very quickly turn on the 4-hour like you saw here. So, which is where we got that rejection there. So you can see volume came up, money flow came up. All of this was giving us, there's that green True 7. This was going to the upside. That was an upward movement there. And that move itself on here was about 7%, so without any leverage. So this very, very powerful indicators. I rely on them greatly on top of my traditional TA, and this one is telling me we are reliably going to head down, but there is one tiny piece of hopium, and that would be the volume matrix and the support of that platinum pocket. So there you go. That's what I got there. Let's kick it back over to you, TradeFly. If you got anything, actually, no, we're about running out of time. Let me wrap up that request for RDDT, and then I will we'll come back and talk it out. Unless you got something that you feel like this needs to be seen on the chart, and then I'll do that.
Nah, I'm good, man. Like I said, it looks like a few of them are sitting at support, so it's really a what's going to happen now thing. Are we going to break or are we going to bounce?
Right. All right, let me pull my favorite retracement here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this on, guys, so we can see where we're at on this. It looks like right now we're getting our rejection on the 382. You can see the 382 has been the resistance here from this top to this bottom. Yes, I just pulled this one myself because I'm doing a quick one. It's not on my Piper Sniper kit. It's not on this chart. But yes, we're getting a repull here, rejection of that 382. However, on the 4 hour, we are above the dynamic reactor for support. But I do want to point out, again, True 7 going negative. The indicator ribbon, momentum ribbon turning red. Money flow is coming back down, and we are in red here. Guys, we just also had a peak seeker. This means, hey, this is on the 4 hour local top. This means reversal. And then top it off, we got a bearish divergence. So red is heading down today, guys. That's what it's doing. All right, man. Yeah, VIX is up 18% this morning, Seth Shepard just said, and that's what I just talked about. There is absolutely a market sell-off going on right now. NASDAQ's down 1.92%. The 10-year yield, the yields are dropping right now. If you guys know what that means, I talk about this a lot on here. If yields are going down, if they are negative, and it's down like 10%, I think I saw, or maybe, I don't know. It's gone down, but it's down. It's down regardless. Maybe it's 3.1%. If the bonds, if the yield bonds, treasury bonds are going down, that means that people are buying them. So they don't have to offer a better rate to entice people to buy. If people are buying bonds and we're having a market sell-off, that means that people are shifting into very low risk and sitting on something that's still going to make money today. Do you understand that? So bonds, people in the TradFi world, they move from stocks into bonds during volatile or unsure times so that it can continue to make money, get locked into those yields before the rate cuts happen, and get a good return. If they are buying a bunch of them, that yield rate will drop, and that's what we're seeing today, which is another indicator that we are getting a risk-off market right now. This is why you guys need to understand more than just a Bitcoin chart, and this is why we preach every day to you guys here on Piper Academy channel what's going on in the total markets, because all of it matters, and the knowledge is profit. So, and I like profit, so I want knowledge, and I'm going to give it to you guys here every day. So, TradeFly, what do you got for these people on the way out, man?
Hey, as usual, it's great mixing it up with you. Username, you're my nemesis now. I'm going to keep an eye on you, but I hope to see you again over at Crypto Nightcap tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and FD White are going to be doing it big. We're going to have Retro Mike Tech on. We're going to be talking about Cass miners a little bit, and he can shoot me in the face for having a mining rig. Unfortunately, I guess now I'm negative, but it is what it is. But hey, as usual, I love mixing up with you guys. If you guys enjoyed the show today, please give us a like and subscribe. That would really help the channel, and it would be much, much appreciated. And hopefully OC Guy will be back tomorrow, and you guys can get your fill of some Mexican spaghetti. And with that, I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll pass it back to Piper.
Awesome. Speaking of miners, we have a new channel coming to our Discord also called Mining 101. Buck is going to be in there. Dominic, that's been on the show a couple times, is going to be in there. And then maybe we can get Retro Mike Tech to drop a little bit of mining knowledge in there too. So we're going to be, it's for our miners. We have a community of them. Let's give them a place to talk and chat and learn too. So that's going to be coming to the Discord, guys. We'll be on here. Yeah, the miners. We're going to be here this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. TradeFly, FD White, the other awesome dude, and I are going to be live together this afternoon for Trade Academy, guys. I can't wait to see you then. Until then, guys, go out there, just touch some grass, spend some time with your family. Don't be afraid to take a little bit of profit. Nobody's ever gone broke taking profit, and you guys are going to be okay. We're going to be okay. All of us, we're going to make it. Wag me. Let's do that, okay? Guys, I will catch you guys here this afternoon. Until then, trade safe. And as always, if you're watching this on X, come join us on YouTube, please, because there's a bunch of you. We'd like to get those subscribers over here. And we will catch you guys later. Trade safe later. Use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead. going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low.
Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.